Hey, what's up? So I had written another article about Assassin's Creed Shadows after my previous early impressions. This time what I had written was after a little after like 60 plus hours I had played a bunch. And I decided to write a well, not even design. I had a bunch more notes on the game. If you remember, if you saw my earlier impressions, the only reason I put that out so soon was because I had so much to say on it. So of course, I had a bunch of stuff stacked on top of that. So this will be another long video. If you'd rather read it quicker or whatever, the link for the post will be in the description. All right, so let's get started here. And this was just a quick note. This post is about the little details in Assassin's Creed Shadows that stood out to me. And I didn't make it clear here. There are things that stand out, but they're not like never been done before. It's just stuff that was good, you know. You can check out my early impressions of the game if you haven't already. The story in the game involves inner turmoil, deciding if you should kill the enemy or let them live. As violence begets violence, but some evil does need to be ended, and some people will not stop being evil. There are also characters in this story that make it very obvious they will not stop being evil. Some do try to change, and you actually get to decide if you allow them to or not, if you don't accidentally kill them first. Um, some characters can be approached to listen to their dialogue that opens the opportunity to forgive them or not, and that is not always obvious as it fits naturally into normal gameplay. I didn't mention it here. It's hard not to go into too many details because there are a lot of details that I leave out. I don't feel they're super important. You know, they're it's whatever. Anyways, so what happened is if you're just going around and you're just like assassinating bad guys, right? Because like especially if you're in a hostile area, some of these characters that you'll find that are forgivable story wise will actually be in the regular open world, but you still have the option to assassinate them just because they're counted as a bad guy by the game, you know. So you might actually more often, or at least a few times, accidentally kill one of these targets before having the opportunity to talk to them. Because as you approach them, you'll hear a conversation will start, but you might not realize it's a special conversation, kind of a story conversation, and not like a regular open world conversation, right? So that had happened to me. I had done that a few times, and when I assassinated the character was when I realized, oh, whoops, they were probably saying something different, but I didn't pay attention, and I just flashed them up. So anyway, it's cool that some of these characters you will encounter times where you're going to be able to like let them live based on of their story about what they're saying, what they're doing with their life and stuff like that. It's pretty cool. Some of them really are. They're like, I'm just gonna keep killing. I'm gonna keep raping and destroying lives and all that kind of stuff. Like yeah, like easy kill, right? But I do like the stories where their lives have changed. They did evil. They did evil, but their lives have changed, and they're actually trying to like be better and stuff like that. So that's cool. But yeah, they don't make it like an official story thing as part like they don't stop you in the game and be like, do you want to forgive this character? No, it's like some passive conversation that they'll have because that's how they make these games now, which I like. It's pretty cool. Um, in the world you'll walk up to the characters and because you're used to like going to a specific NPC and talking to them and that kind of stuff, but a lot of these games now they're getting more natural, right, as far as the conversations in the world and stuff. Especially this series that they've been doing this for the past few games. But you'll be walking near like a quest NPC or whatever, and they'll talk to you. A lot of them, like side missions, will beckon you, right? And that's an old thing. It's not brand new, but it's just become more of a natural and more of a normal thing in these games. So so still not used to it because it's not as normal, as like the cinematics or the specific NPCs you go to talk to and stuff. So it's interesting though. Like I do like how they do those natural interactions. It's pretty cool. Anyways, I'm gonna continue now. Let's see, where was I? All right. I didn't realize how many new quest chains would unlock as I progressed through the story of the game. It also happened in Odyssey and Valhalla, but it felt more random to me in those games. It could just be because I prefer the story in this game than I did in those. It's had my full attention for the most part, with very few parts that I found slow or boring. Story wise, yeah, it is gonna have slow and boring parts, especially depending on our own interests and our own preferences and the kind of stories we enjoy. But in this game specifically, for me, I've rarely been bored through the conversations and the cinematics. I've actually really been into the story, and I look forward to what's happening next. And there have been like some small parts here and there that I was not interested in at all, and I was like, what's gonna happen? But I'm glad that most of it so far has been really good. Let's see, each of the new organizations that unlock are related to the main characters in some way. I imagine it's the same for the previous games, but I just followed this game more, I enjoyed Odyssey. I even beat it. I don't think I beat all the DLC. That's right, I beat the first DLC, and I didn't beat the one with all the mythical gods and stuff, which I always wanted to. At some point I switched back to PC, and that was when I was playing that. So I need to go play it on PC now. Anyways, I don't know. I like the world of Odyssey a lot, but I found the stories to be really boring and dragged out. But other people loved it, right? Whatever. And Valhalla, I still want to go back and beat. I don't know. Lost. Where the hell am I? Let's see. Oh yeah, the organizations. Let's see. Let me see. Apparently I did write more on that. The extra addition of the new organizations can be odd at first because some of them will appear randomly as you explore the world. You may end up killing an organization target that you were unaware of, and the organization will then appear in your objectives menu. However, if you do not accidentally unlock the organizations via exploration, you'll still naturally come across them during the main stories eventually, so far from what I've seen. They're not major story elements, but they are tied to them, specifically the organizations. That's what this whole part's about. One of the major story characters will know or have heard of these people in the organization. All these people are connected in some way, very much like real life. It's funny. So it is side content you can skip, but I like that it ties into major character stories as well. Some of them do feel more important than others based on the story that they offer. Yeah. So, if you played Origins or Odyssey or Valhalla, you had all those like new things that would pop up. No, here's a bunch of other targets I have to go kill and whatever. And it's kind of feels samey, right? I mean, it's cool. It gives you more things to do, but it's samey. You're just, you're still just killing a bunch of bad guys or whatever, which is fine. But some of the stories are really good. Some of the stories related to each of these different assassination targets are really good. And then it's probably like 50-50. I don't know. I haven't done them all yet, but actually I probably have done like half of them. But some of them are just really good, and some of them are pretty, whatever, right? But that's cool though. It did make me think. I think I remember liking God of War so much, the reboot, because the open world, everything was connected in some way to the main story. And I know they've been doing that a bit. They've been pushing that in the Assassin's Creed games. There's a lot of side content that has nothing to do with anything at all, which is fine. But they've had more and more focus on like there being these little things that are kind of connected in some way to like the major picture and stuff, which is pretty cool to see. Let's see, we're in a character customization for a game now. The housing element. I started with the housing element, which is it's customization. And Assassin's Creed Shadows has received an upgrade from what I remember Valhalla having to offer. This time around, there are more elements that the player can customize and build into a hideout. This is your home base, kind of. Once you unlock it in the game, which can take a while, I don't remember how long. You can place buildings where you want within the limit that the game offers you, but you get to place your buildings and you can kind of churn them, and you get to customize how everything looks, which is pretty neat. Let me see. You can add pets to it. Some cats and dogs can be earned from petting them in the open world. Other pets can be bought at specific vendors along with all sorts of decorations. And I didn't list them because there's a lot of decorated trees and freaking rocks and grass and the types of cement for the ground that you would walk. It's deep, man. It's got a lot of stuff where you can just build your own home kind of a thing. It's really, really cool. Of course, it does have the buildings that you kind of have to build for progress in the game and whatever, but you get to customize. There's so much stuff, dude. It's nuts. It's really cool. Let's see. I don't have a lot to say on this element in the game, as I've not spent a lot of time in it yet. It's a very cool feature. I just don't normally spend as much time in these elements as I do with regular gameplay. So even if I spend even if I were to spend 10 hours building my own housing or whatever, that's nothing compared to the hundreds of hours that I'll be playing the other stuff. I would like it if we could zoom the camera out more while placing buildings and decorations. And it's not a bad camera. I would just like to move out more is all. That's just the preference, I guess. I like that the objectives menu will show you how many resources you still need to collect to upgrade your buildings at your hideout. I had noticed that early on in the game. I think under 50 hours. At this point, like, I don't. Nothing. It doesn't matter how much stuff costs. I can cover everything, right? Um, but early on, when I wanted to upgrade my buildings before I could afford it and before I had the resources and stuff, I thought it was cool that in the objectives menu you can actually view, like, it's like a really quick icon, like showing you what resources you need for your upgrade and stuff, which that's pretty neat. It's nice, good interface. Let me see. All right, continuing on customization. Equipment transmogs have received an upgrade in this game. This time around, you can select the style of your weapon hilt, your scabbard, your blade, and your ornament. And I liked that a lot. That was cool, man. Once you unlock them, like you unlock like new variations to these things as you buy them or loot them. So it can take a while to unlock like a lot of things, but it's cool that you can change all those. I don't remember when that feature unlocks exactly, but it did take a while. Unfortunately, they did not do the same for armor. It would have been especially cool if you could also select different color variations of your outfits. You know, and I've seen this a lot in games. They have you'll get this as loot. You'll get like a different outfit, but it's literally just a different reshade in color. So instead of giving new loot that changes the color, you're stupid. Why not just let us pick which color it is? You know, I hate that. I hate when they try to throw it in there as if it's this extra item. That seems like that's what they're doing, is they're just adding a thing to say like, oh, we have 10 items instead of 5, because like 5 of those are just a different color than what you already have. You know, it's dumb. But anyways, I don't think they do that to screw people. I think it's really just overlooking or not thinking about it or whatever, because especially now, it makes far more sense to me to just let us change the colors of the outfits once we have the outfit. Because even Ghost of Tsushima had that, where like they had a weird color selection system for the armors that you got and stuff. It was weird. Anyways, all right, continuing. Another thing I like about the gear is how they have a large variation of extra perks, including percentage of damage done with certain abilities, extra damage done at certain times of day, and lots more. There's so many that I will not list them. There's a lot of stat stuff you get in the game, right? Legendary gear has the best perks, of course. One of my favorites is a perk that automatically throws a kunai at a nearby enemy when you stealth kill an enemy, doubling up the stealth kill. It's either buggy or has a built-in cooldown, though, as it doesn't always work. And it's still my favorite perk for Naue. It's pretty freaking cool. Even I don't even need it anymore, right? I don't even, like, I'm pretty leveled up and pretty geared, and I have more abilities now. So, oh my gosh, dude, the abilities are badass. They're so good. It took so long to unlock all of them too, man. Mostly because I was just enjoying the passives and stuff, but also just the time it takes to level up and be able to unlock everything, right? You know. The abilities are cool, man. Damn, that game gets amazing. And I just remember that happening in Origins and Odyssey, and I can't remember Valhalla as much. Valhalla was a little different. Valhalla was kind of weird compared to Origins and Odyssey, and I don't remember exactly why. They had changed some stuff about it that I was like, the world again though was absolutely incredible. It's a really incredible world to play through. You know, it's amazing stuff. Let's see. There are also engravings that give you the option to select which perks you want to have on your gear once you unlock these things, and it can take a long time to unlock stuff. Still haven't really looked into using that feature. I have now. When I wrote this, I hadn't yet after 60 hours of playing. I'm also playing on easy though. That said, some of these game features do require a lot of grinding, as do require lots of resource materials and rare materials upgrading forward. So you probably wouldn't be using them early on in the game anyways. Once you're late in the game, everything's affordable and kind of nothing. It's just like, oh, I'm rich now. All right, cool, you know. But it takes a while. I would guess at least 40 hours or more, at least, I think, before things become so affordable that you just don't think about it, you know. But I don't know for sure. I just know it took a while. Let's see. Oh yeah, some players do go out of their way to grind like that stuff sooner, but I think they're ruining their own game experience by focusing so hard on the grind. But some people actually enjoy that too, I guess. I don't. Yeah, I've never been a fan of like forcing myself to get to this one spot way ahead of time, because you can. You could do it if you just skipped all this other stuff. But I'm just like, I'm just gonna naturally do this, man. Like like. But anyways, all right. So gameplay elements. One of my favorite tiny details, oh yeah, in Assassin's Creed Shadows, is that your character will slip and slide on ice if you are sprinting. And that's all I said about it, but it's cool. It's really cool. And I forgot, it's beautiful too. Like, visually everything is gorgeous, man. You know, it makes me think of like Ghost of Tsushima. The to me the best thing about that game, Ghost of Tsushima, was the wind effects, and the way it affected the environment was just so beautiful. But visually, like all around, graphically, Shadows is a far superior game by like a million miles. Ghost of Tsushima comes nowhere close. But I said this before that game even came out. I said it looks like a PS3 game in HD, and I still say that. I still think that. I still believe that, and I think it's a beautiful game. It's a freaking 10/10. So you can bite me. I don't care. But I also said the same thing about Nier Automata, another 10/10 game, but visually it looks like a PS3 game, and I don't know why people don't. They just don't get it, man. I don't know why. Like they're so set on the. It's like I'm not insulting the game. It's just not impressive visually, just straight up, and that's not meant to be an insult. That's all it is, man. It's just a fact. like I love those games, man. They still don't look like current gen super insane graphics games. You know, they do look like PS3 games. Whatever. Anyways, okay. I remember why I said that, just because of the visuals, the effects. Oh yeah, the ice, sliding on ice is so great. It's cool. And it's rare. I've only seen it like 3 or 4 times at the most out of my over 100 hours of playing the game now. I want to go ice skating now that anyone got to find some icy spots in the game and just go slide around. Anyways, alright. I love that viewpoints now automatically trigger when you climb up to them. I didn't mind clicking the button before or anything. I just think this is a neat little quality of life update. Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, you see the viewpoint, you climb on it, and it just automatically does a little camera pan, you know. So whatever. I thought that was cool. I love how Yasuke moves much quicker through the snow than Naoe does, and I wonder how many people actually know he does. And I was wondering too. I was like, is it just my imagination? But no, I'm pretty damn sure. Now I could be wrong. Maybe the devs could come in and look. I would like to be confirmed on it because it sure feels faster. It's kind of like the difference between walking and sprinting. Like you know you're going faster, right? So when I play as Yasuke in the snow, I know I'm moving faster than Naoe. Naoe is a snail in the snow. She's horrible in the snow, man, especially off the path. And you'll notice that. I think Yasuke is the same, but Yasuke he moves through the snow so quick, dude, like in comparison to Naoe. So that's cool, man. It's an interesting small detail as he's normally the turtle of the two. Oh, I love it. That's my favorite little bitty thing on that. It's pretty cool. It's also annoying because I would rather Naoe move faster through the snow. Alright, there's a brief mini game where you can sneak up on rare animals to have either Naoe or Yasuke draw a picture of them. It's just whoever you're playing as will have the chance to draw the animals. You get to see a tiny cinematic showing the animals in action, finished with a camera over whichever character you're playing as drawing them. It's neat. There's a part early in the story where your character is taught how to draw to help with meditation. And that's it. So you have this little meditation, a couple little meditation mini games, just and it's part of the story too. But I liked the artwork, and it was I thought that was a fun little part of the story too, because it was interesting. To me, I won't get too far sidetracked, so never mind. I just liked it. I just liked it. It was cool. For combat, the absolute brutality of Yasuke. Oh wait, and I've heard his name said both ways, Yasuke and Yasuke. So I don't even know which is the damn correct way to pronounce it. They even do it different in the damn game, man. Maybe it's their what's it called? Your accent, right? Because I've heard him called Yasuke and Yasuke, so it's just freaking confusing. I go as Yasuke. I prefer the sound of Yasuke over Yasuke. Anyways, he's way different than Naoe as far as combat. He's a tank that I can walk into a castle gate and shout, "I'm here, come die," or something like that, and it's badass. I've never really bothered with the stealth element while playing as him. I started to after I wrote this, and only a little, but I started kind of stealthing a little more with him, and it's fun. But the whole point of him is just to go in there and just smash everybody in the face. It's great. I love him, man. Let's see. Yeah, I've never bothered with stealth really playing as him. Sure, I'm playing on easy, but it's still easy to tell the vast difference in combat style and power between these two characters. It's very easy. It's instantly noticeable. It's kind of like going from Spider-Man in the black suit to Venom. Like, drastic difference in power, man. Yasuke's finishers are far more brutal as well. Give me one sec. Okay, sorry. Oh yeah, his finishers are crazy, and now he has has crazy finishers too, but no, Yasuke ain't messing around, man. That's gross. Anyways, a couple of his finishers had my jaw drop deep the first time I saw them. I'm talking about like just all the way down, going and by myself, not trying to put on a show for Twitch or anything. No, I was sitting here going like, I'm exaggerating, just making fun, but no, I was pretty like, dang. I remember thinking that too when I closed my mouth. I was like, holy crap, dude, that's insane. If you haven't played the game yet, it takes about an average of 15 to 20 hours to unlock him as a normal playable character due to the pacing of the story. I've seen a lot of posts discussing how long it takes before you can even play as him, as well as knowing it took me about 20 hours while I'm mostly trying to focus on main objectives. Let's see, I've been able to take out several enemies at once while using the smoke bomb. It's not easy, and enemies will actually move out of the smoke as well, which is cool. I think it's awesome to be able to take out many enemies in a single smoke bomb again, though. So one thing, and I didn't go into super details on this, but it is cool. I love that. The first time I got the smoke bomb, I started using it. Because I didn't get it right away. It took a long time because I was getting other upgrades first and stuff. I didn't really care about getting the gadgets, you know, but I finally got it, and I tried it one time just for the heck of it. And I was able to stealth kill these dudes like in the smoke bomb. So the trick is, one of the tricks, you can use it mid combat, and if you can get out of like, if they don't see you long enough, the smoke bomb will probably have to be at the 10-second upgrade, but you'll actually go back to stealth, right? But if you launch a smoke bomb before entering combat, you go into combat stealth, so you can get 4 to 5 dudes in a stealth kill thing. It's freaking cool, man. So it totally reminds me of like the old school, you know, Ezio and stuff. Let's see. It's maybe a tiny bit of a spoiler. It's not, but somebody might, you know. But it's also something I think a lot of people might skip over, do not realize, or not even care about. It's small. I love how Naoe casually states it fits perfect when getting her first Brotherhood robes. That was it. She gets this new robe. It's a Brotherhood robe. She's not in the Brotherhood or nothing like that. We find it in like a cave, basically. But part of the story is they have story in it, but she knew nothing about the Brotherhood or Assassin really or anything like that when I got the outfit. But I thought it was cool. She's like, it fits perfect, and I was like, I like it. I just thought that was funny. I thought it was cute. All right, side stories. Some of the side missions that usually stand out to me in the series are the ones that involve children. There are cute little stories as well, but the ones I remember the most are the ones where the children are kidnapped, exploited, and abused after the parents are murdered by the kidnappers. They're sad stories that I find hard to let go. They give me a real enemy to go after in comparison to normal military stuff that I just don't really care about. And there's a lot of these in the game too. Origins was nuts. Origins was deep, dude, because like it wasn't just side stories about like little brief kid. There were so many connected stories. Like it was nuts, man. Like they got really involved with some of that stuff as far as child trafficking, human trafficking, and stuff like that. It was that's why Origins hit me so much. Like all the stories were so well written. Like everything was freaking crazy and too real. But it was good though. But yeah, no, I think that's. I guess the reason I liked it was because we were able to be a hero in comparison to real life. All the stories are real, but where are the heroes? There aren't any. They're all fake, and you know everything's a lie, and evil rules the world. So, anyways, so I like to be able to be the hero. Let's see. One thing I found interesting in one of these stories, one of the side stories. Oh yeah. When I found out when the kidnappings happened to a wealthy family, I just stopped caring immediately. But then during that same story, we find out they weren't actually wealthy. People just thought they were. And then, this is my own note. That part isn't believable to me. I think it's an interesting perspective. But then I think to myself, why would people think they're wealthy if they aren't? I could go into deeper thoughts on that, but it would be an article all by itself. F the rich. That's certainly not the child's fault, though. It's too bad they'll likely grow up to be a piece of crap. That's funny, man. Yeah, no, so I thought that was really funny because they were like, there was this kid that was telling the story. He's like, yeah, the whole town thought they were rich, but it turns out they weren't. And I'm like, I would need some more details on that because that doesn't make any sense. I think that's just fakeness, trying to be like, oh, don't hate rich people, guys. They're normal too. No, they aren't. No, they're not. No. Anyways, that's a fantasy. That's sold. by the rich. As a quick follow-up side note to the above, Assassin's Creed Origins has the best writing in the side stories I've seen in the stories so far. The stories are just really good. I say that while also really loving the heck out of the stories in Shadows. I guess Origins just reached me even more. Yeah, because I really do like Shadows a lot, story-wise. I think it's really good, man. Especially now. I finally got into more Yasuke stuff, finally, just like yesterday, the day before, 100 plus hours. And it's good, but it's still, even when we get deeper in his little thing, it definitely feels like a more of a side thing. But it is good though, and it's a part of the big picture stuff too. So it's just his parts aren't as big, you know. Like nowadays is like clearly the main story, which is fine. Let's see. Oh yeah, for this last portion of my post. Wait, did I skip? No, okay. This is about the small annoyances I found in the game. First, while Naue is in stealth, there's always a white outline around her character. I can't stand it. I understand why it's there, but it would be great if there was an option to disable that. I don't need a white outline around my character to know that I'm in stealth. Maybe new players do. Please let me turn that off. It reminds me of Assassin's Creed Unity, where every character had a red or white outline around them. It is so distracting and ruins any type of immersion. I hated that about Unity, man, and I really like Unity as a game. But I think even Assassin's Creed 3 was similar too. It was just red outlines around every enemy if you were in combat. Just giant glowing red outlines everywhere. Just freaking stupid. So Unity was like that as well. So the white outline around your character isn't. It's decent. Like I think they did a good job on it as far as like, you know, a game mechanic, and it's not super like bright and what, but I'd still rather turn it off. So that's just a preference type thing. It also makes me think of like Far Cry, which is funny because they have this like crouch indicator in games like that, right? And I would turn that off. I don't need the game to tell me I'm crouching. I can literally see my camera shift. Like, why do I need an icon on the screen saying, you know, got the little kneel button on it or what, a kneel icon? You're like, you're kneeling. Yeah, I know. I can see that I'm kneeling, stupid. Like, whatever. Anyways, let's see. When climbing ladders or any kind of minor climbs, the AI is not very good at deciding whether or not I should climb a wall right next to the ladder or climb the ladder itself. This is a repeated issue throughout the series. Just ladder climbing, you know, you're especially like since Origins and Odyssey when you can climb anything. I do like the ladders. It is usually a bit smoother than rock climbing and stuff like that. Like if there's a ladder, it's quicker. But if you start climbing like right next to a ladder, like, and you're kind of trying to hold like in the up and angled direction, it just will not get the ladder. It'll just go straight up right next to it. It's just a pain in the butt. I don't like that. There are also times I should be able to just drop off a very short ledge without using the descend button, but the AI will force me to continue running along the wall. It would be nice if these elements were polished up more. So that I kind of want to take that back and go fix it, but there are plenty of times where that is the case and it is the issue. Right now, I was noticing that it is well done though. It is the way AI will help decide if you're too high or too low to automatically just push forward and jump off a ledge or on top of a ledge, right? It's pretty good. But it could still use a little bit more work, that's all, you know, but it's pretty good. Let's see. Oh yeah, requiring the katana to perform stealth kills through doors is kind of stupid. Even with Yasuke, it would have been really cool to perform brutal stealth openers by smashing through a door to kill enemies with that type of finisher, like an opener, you know, just smash through the door, let everybody know you're here, but your first kill was that stealth kill, you know. That would have been cooler, that's all. It is cool that you can smash through those thin doors with normal attacks. It just would have been cooler to be able to perform stealth kills through the door with any weapon equipped, yeah. That just would have been cool, that's all. Because the katana, the stealth kills through the door is pretty neat. Like, it's just a neat, it's a pretty cool game mechanic. Cool addition, you know. Let's see. Some environments are copy-paste, such as towers and fort areas. It would be nicer if this was less noticeable. But it's only really noticeable the more you do. Like, the more you're doing forts and forts and forts, you're like, oh, I recognize this, I recognize this. Overall, it's really well done, though. Like, I understand pasting assets throughout the world, but, you know, you got to change it up, right? You know, change the layouts a little bit, you know, assets, sure, change the layout, you know, like, let's see. I will say this: no game I played has ever come as close to the insane and despicable amount of copy paste that Diablo 4 put out. Yeah, no, I'll never forget that, and I'll never get over that. Anyways, some of the assassination targets for the main story will be so far across the map from where you are. I do like the concept in relation to traveling the world to get around for your characters, you know, the enemies and the quests and all that. However, what it ends up doing is dragging the story out more, and players end up getting way more sidetracked because of it. Because on the way to your thing across the freaking map, you got all these things in between there. And I did. This is what I meant. Like I said, I tried to focus. Instead of getting super sidetracked, grabbing every viewpoint first and whatever. No, that's a bad idea in these games, man. But I would go straight, and even still, it would take a long time. That's how far across these missions would be. Not all of them, but a lot of them. At least half your quests are across the damn map. I mean, I still have multiple portions of the map, like major pieces of the map, unviewed. I have not been there. I've not done anything. 100+ hours in. It's insane, man. It's crazy. All right. Anyways, while I really enjoy the differences between Yasuke and Niaoe, such as walking speed and how they interact with the environment, there are times when clearing out a castle where you can't fully complete it if you're on the wrong character. You actually have to leave the entire fortress to get out of hostile territory in order to change characters to go back in and finish that little thing you couldn't do on the wrong character. That's kind of crappy. I like that they have their own special things. Those rare times when you're forced to leave and switch characters suck, though. They are really rare. I have had to do it, and it is very annoying, but they're so rare that it's like, all right, I can forgive it, kind of whatever. But it would have been cooler if, even if you're in a hostile territory inside of the hostile, as long as you're in stealth, it would have been cooler if you could switch your character. So I don't know. I don't know if that was just too hard to do technically or whatever. But it was just would have been better, like if you're out of combat, switch characters. I'm trying to think of like why they would have kept it, because I can't really imagine it being like OP in some way to switch characters. I mean, maybe it would be, but I'm just like, they're both really powerful characters on their own. You don't really need to switch, right? Like, I don't know. I wouldn't find a need to do that, outside of having to, specifically because this one character can't get to that part, So out of combat inside of hostile territory would have been nice to be able to change characters. That's all. Let's see. I'm sure there are other little things that I've left out. I've covered most of the... Did I? Okay, most of the things that are so common that I wrote notes down for them. Most of the other issues I may have encountered or would complain about are so small that I don't feel the need to get into them, or just don't even remember because they're not as common. All right, cool. Yeah, and that was it. Those were my thoughts after 60+ hours, and I don't have like a whole lot of notes. I do have new notes, and I'm working on a different angle. Now I wanna go into like writing about how to fix the game generally, things to improve on, not because I think the game sucks so bad, but here are some things to fix, right? So I have notes for that kind of. I still have a little bit more feedback to go with it, right, for the game. But yeah, this one and my early impressions are pretty much could be the full review together kind of a thing, Yeah, because the rest of my notes for everything else is mostly on how to just fix a couple minor things that could use some polishing, basically. Anyways, so that's it, man. Hope you enjoyed this, and I will talk to you. I want to say more things, but I'm pretty tired, and I know this was long, so I'm gonna go. I will talk to you later. Bye bye.